You may have heard that US President Donald Trump has reiterated his intention to impose tariffs on Canada starting in March 2025. If he follows through, and all signs point to that being likely, despite efforts by the Canadian federal and provincial leaders, both Canadians and Americans will face severe economic consequences. For Canadians, the hardest hit will be those in the export driven industries, but the ripple effects could extend across multiple sectors, making job security uncertain for many. While I truly hope these tariffs don't materialize, the reality is that job losses could become a serious concern. That's why today I want to discuss or focus on a critical topic: what to do if you lose your job. Whether you're facing this situation now or simply want to be prepared, this episode will walk you through some key financial moves and strategies to help you navigate job loss and come out stronger. But before I do that, I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who has listened, shared, and supported this podcast. It started last year as a simple idea to help people navigate their financial and real estate decisions and build a better life for themselves. And the response has been encouraging thus far. So, whether you're watching this podcast for the first time or your 25th time, I truly appreciate your time. Now, let's get into today's topic: what to do if you lose your job. Losing a job is never easy, but we are in a time where many economic shifts are making this even tougher. Between increased costs over the last couple of years, a rather shaky Canadian real estate market, and the US Canada trade tensions, the jobs are at risk across many industries. On top of that, I see the threat of artificial intelligence or AI driven automation replacing traditional roles. While widespread impact is likely years away, this is something that we will start to witness more commonly going forward. Older workers, especially those over, say, 45 to 50 years, will likely struggle to re enter the workforce if and when layoff happens. So, today, let us tackle job loss from all angles: what to do immediately, how to stabilize your finances, where new opportunities could be emerging, and how to adapt to a rapidly changing world and economy. Let's dive in. First things first, stay calm. Losing a job can feel overwhelming, but panicking won't help either. Taking the right steps early can make a difference. So, if you happen to lose your job, take a couple of days to process that. And with a cool mind, check if you're eligible for severance. If you have received a severance package, take time to understand what is included. Some companies offer pay continuation, extended benefits, or career counseling services. If it is unclear, or if you have not received one, consider talking to an employment lawyer to ensure you're getting what you're entitled to. Also, check with your ex-employer about your last paycheck. When is it going to be deposited? And if any of the accrued vacation time or the bonuses are going to be paid out. Check if you are eligible for employment insurance. In Canada, if you have lost your job through no fault of your own, you may qualify for employment insurance, and the benefit would depend on how many hours you have worked in the previous year. Apply as soon as possible because it can take a few weeks to process. And be sure to gather all necessary documentation, including your record of employment, which your employer should provide. Assess your health and dental benefits, or rather benefits at large. If you lose employer provided benefits, and that could be life, health, dental, critical illness, disability, etc., etc., and if those are crucial for you, then look at getting a private coverage, maybe individual coverage for yourself and your dependents as required. This is one reason I always recommend that all homeowners, or rather mortgage borrowers, should have adequate coverage, especially life, critical illness, and disability outside of what is available through their work. You might not have adequate coverage, or rather any coverage, when you really need them if you're completely dependent on a coverage from your employer. Take stock of your expenses and financial obligations. To start, list all your recurring bills, subscriptions, and financial commitments so you have a full picture of what you need to cover. Do not take any actions just yet, but first get a full picture and get ready to assess. Now that you have handled the immediate steps, let's talk about managing your finances so you don't run out of money too quickly and make it last while you're between jobs. So start with reviewing and adjusting your budget. The goal here is to create what I call as a survival budget. Start by categorizing your expenses into needs and wants. Essential expenses typically include housing, utilities, grocery, transportation, insurance, etc. Cut out on non essential expenses. For me, those would be things like dining out, movie nights, entertainment subscriptions, and shopping for discretionary items like maybe furniture, electronic gadgets, a new phone, etc. Adjusting quickly to the survival mode will help you stretch your savings. Pause any major financial commitments. If you're planning a big purchase, like buying a car or making home renovations, it's time to reconsider. It's best to hold on to cash until you have a clear job prospect. Also, you cannot get a mortgage if you're unemployed. Talk to your lenders. If money is tight, be proactive. Many banks offer mortgage deferrals or flexible payment plans during financial hardship. The key is to call them before you start missing payments. Some banks offer something called as a skip a payment option if you have made prepayments in the year. But be cautious, as some lenders might choose not to renew your mortgage or may rather choose to call back your line of credit if they deem you to be too risky. Likewise, credit card companies may also offer temporary relief programs, such as the lower interest rate or payment extensions. Use your emergency savings wisely. Well, hopefully, you were proactive enough to build and maintain an emergency fund while you were employed and earning. If so, you have an emergency fund, and now is the time to put it to use. Key is to make it stretch as long as possible. Calculate how long your current savings can last at a reduced budget. If you do not have sufficient savings to last a couple of months, well, say at least 3 to 6 months, then refocus on minimizing expenses and avenues to earn some income. Well, depending on your skills, you might be able to pick up some assignments from websites like Upwork, TaskRabbit, Fiverr, etc. But as usual, competition could be pretty tough, especially for someone who doesn't have an established profile on such platforms. So, if you think you are at the risk of losing your job, then starting a side hustle while you're still employed would be crucial. Well, the goal with all these measures is simple: making your money stretch so you can focus on finding your next opportunity and you can devote enough time to getting that appropriate opportunity. A job loss can quickly lead to financial strain. So let's make sure your credit doesn't take a hit. Make minimum debt payments on time. Even if you can't pay off your balance in full, making at least those minimum payments on your credit card and loans is crucial to protecting your credit score. A missed payment will lower your score and will make borrowing more difficult in future. Avoid high interest debt. Be cautious about using credit cards or payday loans to cover expenses. Instead, look into lower cost options like using a line of credit if absolutely necessary. If you have a home equity line of credit, then it can come very handy at this time. But do not let that be the sole basis of your backup plan. Negotiate your bills. You can also call your service providers, maybe your phone or internet or insurance provider, and ask them about hardship programs or discounts. You will be surprised, but many companies will likely lower your bill if you ask. Now, on to the big question, what's next? And the answer to that would depend on how marketable your skills are. If you have been in a job for, say, 15 plus years, you may be facing something even harder, realizing that your skills may not longer be in high demand. But if you have a in demand skill, then it might be a much easier exercise. The job market is evolving faster than ever. If you're over 45 and in a traditional industry, or if you're in a field that is getting skewed by artificial intelligence, automation, or the global trade wars, you need a new strategy. Many white collar and blue collar jobs are changing. Artificial intelligence is or will soon replace many of these jobs. And these could be administrative in nature or legal research, customer service, or maybe even financial analysis. If you're in a job that AI can automate, now's the time to pivot into something which is AI proof or at least AI resistant. Canada's recent trade tensions with the US could hit industries like the auto sector, manufacturing, steel and aluminum, possibly agriculture, and energy too. If your job is in one of these sectors, it is worth exploring diversification. Ask the question, what adjacent skills do you have that can apply to another field? While we have laws against discrimination by age, many companies and managers will hesitate to hire older workers, assuming, likely incorrectly, that these older workers will not adapt to technology or will demand too high a salary. The key would be for you to show adaptability and strive for an opportunity to showcase how you have demonstrated adaptability in your past job. Now, for some actionable steps. Well, first of all, update your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Make sure your resume is current and highlights your skills and achievements. If you were laid off, don't be afraid to mention it. Many employers understand, especially in today's economy. Focus on results and not responsibilities. Employers care about what you have achieved. Optimize for those artificial intelligence resume scanners. Use keywords from the job postings and customize your resume and cover letter for each position that you apply for. Leverage your network, reaching out to former colleagues, friends, and LinkedIn connections. Many jobs are not posted online, so networking may be the key to finding that opportunity. This could also be an opportunity to switch industries or take courses or certifications to boost your skills. Learn tools like ChatGPT or similar AI tools that are becoming standard in many industries. Consider upskilling by taking certifications in relevant and in demand fields, but do not overdo it. And don't forget, searching for a job is a job in itself. Set a daily schedule, maybe 2 hours in the morning for applications and an hour in the afternoon for networking. Treat it like a structured process, and you will hopefully find results faster. Job hunting can also be discouraging, but keeping a daily routine that keeps you productive and mentally healthy with exercise, sufficient breaks during the day, and a realistic goal about the job search will go a long way. So, in closing, losing a job is never easy, but making the right financial decisions can help you stay afloat and come back even stronger. However, your ability to navigate that job loss largely depends on how financially prepared you were beforehand and whether your skills remain relevant in today's evolving job market. Waiting until you're unemployed to figure out your financial condition or to review the status of your skills is too late. The key is to stay ahead, stay adaptable, and be ready for challenges that may become more common in the future. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to share it with someone who might need it. And if you're looking for more financial guidance, check out our past episodes on debt management, smart investing, building an emergency fund, etc. Now, also look forward to the next episode where we're going to discuss about the suitability of variable rate mortgages and who should and likely who should not opt for a variable rate mortgage product. Until next time, stay smart and keep getting your shit together.